Welcome, it's Denome, and welcome to this crypto update. Now, yesterday was an interesting day in crypto because Bitcoin hit a fresh all-time high, $124,000, and immediately after, the price fell almost 6% in a straight candle down. Altcoins had even bigger dips, but now the people are asking, is this the time to buy Bitcoin, or are we going to see lower numbers? And my belief is that the bull market will continue to go up, and we're still on track to reach 130k by the end of the month. Now, if we fall below these trend lines, then it's a different story. Then I think we will go to at least $105,000. But even if that were the case, I believe we will recover from there back to the upside. There's just so many bullish price drivers still aligned with Bitcoin, with altcoins for later this year, that even if there's going to be a bigger dip, that only means that we have to buy more. But all in all, let me first talk about what caused this price dip. Then we talk about the price drivers going forward. We will look at the fundamentals, and then we will look at the price at the end as well. Now, if you want to support this channel, make sure to look at the like button and look at the subscribe button as well, and make sure both of them are highlighted and you have clicked them to support this channel. Now, let's continue. So first reason why the price dropped yesterday is that we got a new PPI number. So PPI stands for Producer Price Index. Essentially, it tracks the inflation of manufacturers and service providers in the United States, and the number was 3.7% inflation compared to the expectation of 2.9%. So it's a massive gap between the expectation and reality, and the markets did not like it. This is the largest number since March of 2022, and basically a lot of people started to panic when it came out. Now, the prices have stabilized already, so I think this is an oddity. I think the markets are a little bit too ecstatic for them to get scared from this alone. But if we see another red number in September, then it's probably going to be quite bad. Because if we see a red number in September, that means that rate cuts will unlikely to happen. And then the markets, if there's not going to be rate cuts, then they will have to price that in their price projections, which will take the prices down. So as of now, it is an oddity. Next month, it will become a pattern. So next month number has to be lower or around the expectations for markets to continue to go higher. But as of now, we have this month of, let's call it delusion. But as of now, the markets are the market condition, in my opinion, is still intact. It's a dent in the market condition, but it is still intact. Now, the second reason why the markets dipped is because of Treasury Secretary Bessent, because at the same time we got the bad CPI number, PPI number, he came out and said that the government will not buy Bitcoin. So let's hear what he actually said in this segment.
As a store of value for the American people. We've also started to get into the 21st century, a Bitcoin strategic reserve. We're not going to be buying that, but we are going to use confiscated assets and continue to build that up. We're going to stop selling that.
So there it is. He says they will not buy Bitcoin, but they will use confiscated assets to add into the treasury. So that is a different story that what they have been telling to us about 8 months now. So that is annoying. But in the same day that he said that on TV, he made this post on X saying that in addition to using these forfeited assets or confiscated assets, Treasury is committed to exploring budget neutral pathways to acquire more Bitcoin. So in the same day he said they are not going to buy Bitcoin, the price drops, and after the price drops, he comes out and says, yes, we will buy Bitcoin. So it looks like market manipulation. It could have been a mistake as well. You be the judge of that. I don't have any concrete proof to say one way or the other, but I would not be surprised if it was market manipulation. So I'll leave it at that. But anyway, those were the reasons why the markets dropped, and he already backtracked on his FUD post anyway. So again, the market condition is intact. Now let's talk about the bullish narrative. And the bullish narrative is altcoin season. And Coinbase Institutional is now calling for a full-scale altcoin season, very likely for September. So they made this post here. Let's take a look at what they are saying in this monthly outlook. So they are saying altcoin season cometh, and this came out on August 14th. Now this is going to all of the Coinbase's institutional investors, and it's a very bullish post here. And how they define a altcoin season or full-scale altcoin season is that at least 75% of top 50 altcoins by market cap outperform Bitcoin over the preceding 90 days. So what we can expect is that the top altcoins will start pumping like crazy according to Coinbase. And a interesting point here is that I have been telling you guys about LDO. And here they are talking about ARB, ENA, LDO, and OP. And though it seems only LDO has benefited from the recent ETH rally with its 58% month-to-date gain. And they think LDO's price appreciation is accompanied with the liquid staking tokens ruling from the SEC. So Coinbase is bullish on LDO, just like I am. So I will use this next segment in this video only talking about LDO. But before I do that, I also want to mention that the retail capital is still sitting sidelined according to Coinbase. $7 trillion of retail capital is still in money market funds, and that could come to crypto if Fed eases the rate, makes rate cuts in September. But here, let's see where they talk about the LDO in this post. So with respect to higher beta to ETH returns, LDO has benefited most out of almost all of the coins in this list so far. And they talk about the SEC statement about this, and that's basically everything they said about LDO. But it's interesting that they talk about LDO specifically in this post here, because LDO had a token holder update call yesterday, and there were some secrets in this phone call that I will share with you guys now. Now, the first secret from this call is the buyback program. So unfortunately, they did not release the buyback program yet, but what the CEO recommends here is to implement a program to buy LDO with the STETH yield that they make from their treasury and from their service. So for the next 2 to 3 months, they will be selecting the best framework, and by end of year, they will make a holistic decision together with their goals and the budget for 2026. So for 2 to 3 months, there will not be a buyback program, and after that they will make a decision how they will implement a buyback program, and by 2026 they will most likely do it. So as of now, it's not as bullish as I had hoped, and I think some people were expecting more, like a staking program or something else. And the interesting point about this whole presentation is that the CEO seems to be some kind of an engineer, and he doesn't really know how to hype things up. He could have called this a LDO treasury strategy, and if he had branded it as that, I believe the token price would have gone up much more, because a buyback program is essentially the same as a treasury strategy, but as of now, the hot word is obviously a treasury strategy. So you should have used that, not some buyback proposal nonsense. But anyway, this is still the case that they want to implement this by 2026. So this is the first secret. The second secret is something that has to do with the Lido version 3. And just to give you a little bit background before I explain Lido v3, is that we have these FUD posts about LDO online circulating basically as of today. So Figment is outpacing Lido, and Lido is in decline. So what they're basically saying here that in 2023, Lido had a 32.3% market share of all staked Ethereum in their vaults. And as of 2025, they only have 24.4%, or 1/4 of all Ethereum is staked through Lido Finance. And they call this a decline. And they are promoting Figment basically in this post here. And Figment is also talked about on Binance as well, and it was also on other news channels. So STETH withdrawal from Lido and Figment's market share growth. And they talk about this analyst here. So supposedly Lido is being unstaked, and the Ethereum that is unstaked is going into Figment. This is now the narrative that is in the market. And I can say that this is practically speaking false, even though technically speaking it is right. So the right part about this is that STETH supply has shrank about 10% since 2024. So there has been withdrawals out of the Lido Finance's vaults. And one of the reasons is that now we have these treasury companies that don't really need liquid staking tokens because they want to just buy ETH and hold it long term. So they don't really need liquid staking services for that. And also Figment is selling staking services, and it doesn't sell liquid staking services because there's no money in liquid staking services. So in this update call here, they actually addressed this issue, and here is the secret. So they are talking about low risk category, which is delegated staking with node operators like Figment and other person-to-person expert sales teams. And Lido Finance is currently not engaging in person-to-person sales, so they are falling behind these other companies. So at the moment, these companies like Figment have a couple of problems. They have no incentive to sell liquid staking products or DeFi strategies, and they have very little customization opportunity in their portfolio as of now. So what Lido version 3 allows is for companies like Figment to join with Lido Finance to offer delegation plus plus. Now, what delegation plus plus means is very simple. It means that Lido Finance will give Figment a customizable smart contract for staking Ethereum. And it is using Lido's technology, and Lido will take a small cut, but most of the fees will go to Figment. And then they can sell the liquid staked tokens to their customers. So in that way, it's basically saving trouble for Figment. It will create more utility for Lido Finance, and it will basically allow Lido Finance to retain market share. They will make less money, but they will retain market share and get at least a little bit of the profit when they partner up with companies like Figment. So the news here are basically saying that Figment is a competitor to Lido, but in reality, Lido wants to partner up with Figment and other companies like that with version 3 of Lido. So that is basically what is false in that news there. And then when we come to the website version 3.lido.fi, they talk about Ethereum staking infrastructure here. And this is the most important thing. So institutional stakers, node operators like Figment, asset managers, protocols, all benefit from version 3 of Lido. And this is the graphic that reveals everything. So Lido is here at the center. And here is connected stakers like banks, asset managers, and here is the keyword ETF issuers and funds. So staked ETF products will be able to connect to Lido version 3 as well. And without Lido version 3, these ETFs and other companies would have no incentive to use liquid staking tokens. But Lido is basically the only staking provider that can provide this infrastructure for staked Ethereum ETF companies. And in the call, somebody asked this question: is Lido Finance partnered up with ETF providers? And the answer they gave is that it is confidential. And they hope that people have understanding on this matter, because these things they cannot say publicly. They have non-disclosure agreements with the ETF providers. So I take that as a massive yes, they are partnered with ETF providers. In fact, I have reported that in my previous update videos that they are definitely partnered up with at least one 21 shares ETF provider already. So it is coming and it is reality, it is in their plan, and there will be a buyback program by the 2025. So in my opinion, Lido Finance as of now is massively bullish, and right now it is having a dip in price as well. So it went back to this trend line here, and I was able to basically buy it from $1.5 all the way to $1.33. I didn't catch all of the absolute bottom here, but I think my lowest buy was at $1.33. So as of now, I'm expecting this to have a nice rally back to the upside here when people really catch the news. But people were expecting more, and the presentation here did not really make it seem as bullish as perhaps I'm making it in this video. So you should watch the whole thing yourself if you really want to get to the truth. This is just my interpretation of what was said in the call and what is being said in this different news here about Lido. Now that's the segment for Lido. Now let's head back to crypto. And with crypto, let's talk about USDC inflows. So when we look at Coinbase Prime, there has been massive USDC inflows into exchanges. Not only Coinbase, by the way, this is all exchanges. So almost $4 billion worth of stablecoins have now entered exchanges. And this is typically a sign that investors are buying the dip. So here you have massive buying wall as of now, not only Bitcoin, but altcoins as well. So this is the first key thing to understand, that the bull market is not over. Then also Martin is sharing this chart here. And this is from Coinbase Prime. So on Coinbase Prime, there's a premium which is shown in this green candle here. So the premium means that there's so much buying on the exchange that there's a higher price on Coinbase Prime than on other markets, on the price of Bitcoin. So there's too much buying, and this is typically another sign that we're gonna head higher quite soon. So a lot of investors are very happy to buy this dip as well. So very good news from here, again from Coinbase, but that's just one thing. Then we got a little bit bad news here from Google. So Google has banned non-custodial wallet developers from Play Store in the European Union. And then they confirm it here in this post as well. So European Union is banning non-custodial wallets. Again, just they want to prevent any money leaving the European Union and their banking sector. And it's just funny that they complain to Trump about protectionist strategies. Meanwhile, European Union is one of the most protectionist entity on the planet as of today, and they are building this digital firewall against people leaving European Union, and especially for money leaving European Union. And I expect things to only get worse for Europe. And I'm not going to talk about more about this, just telling you that this happened. Then we have a new altcoin treasury strategy company, and that is called May Pharma Inc. And they went ahead and bought Litecoin out of all of coins in the market. So between July 30th and August 4th, they bought 1 million Litecoin valued at $100 each. So it's a $100 million purchase within a week. So like I told you guys in previous updates, that there will be more of these altcoin treasury companies. This is further proof that this is the case. So Litecoin, congratulations for that. You are now an altcoin treasury asset as well. Then Google, even though we got that bad news, we got good news here that they have acquired an 8% stake in a Bitcoin miner, TeraWolf. So that is great. Uh, they're talking about 3.7 billion AI hosting agreement backed with $1.8 billion in funding, and the Wolf shares jumped over 20% after this move here. So AI crypto company investment from Google. Great to see. Then we saw Fundamental Global, which has now filed for a $5 billion plan to become the largest corporate Ethereum holder. This is massive because they want to own 10% network share out of the Ethereum network, which is much more than, I believe it was Bitmine who said that they want to have the largest share at 5%. Now this company is coming out saying, no, 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 no. We want the highest share and we want 10% of the Ethereum market cap. So these companies are now in competition who can own the most amount of Ethereum in the fastest amount of time or shortest amount of time. So again, we're seeing just massive adoption across the board despite this small dip in price. Then in the same day, they announced that they already bought 47,000 Ethereum valued at $200 million in total. So they are serious about it. Just more investments into Ethereum. Very nice to see as well. And then this is not the only news. Peter Thiel, who owns Palantir, who is the biggest donor of JD Vance, bought a crypto stock and the price of that stock went up 182% after this investment. So now he owns 7.5% of this Ethereum focused digital asset treasury company 180 Life Sciences Corp. So if basically the people who own the current government are still buying Ethereum, still buying Bitcoin, and being super bullish about it, do you think that the market is topped or do you think it is continuing? In my opinion, it will continue to go up because they own the government. They can make the government buy these assets or make it so that the assets are very favored to acquire more investments in the future. So very good news here, even though I don't like the Palantir company as itself. But anyway, good for Bitcoin prices. Then let's take a look at Ethereum strategic reserves. And here we have had a lot of new investments in Ethereum, and the total supply change in Ethereum ETFs and these Ethereum strategy companies is a 5% increase within the last 7 days. So that's massive increase within just one single week. And the plan of all of these companies is to not sell in the future. So you can take a look at this on your own, but all in all, we're seeing more adoption, more buying for Ethereum. And also, when we take a look at Bitcoin treasury companies, we have seen an increase here as well. So even though the rate has dropped from 4% to 3.83% for the last 30 days, we saw this blip that we didn't see in the last update call yet. So there has been an increase into Bitcoin treasury companies. And also, I believe in my last update, there were only 292 companies listed here. Now there are 293 companies listed. So one more company has a Bitcoin treasury strategy as of now. So all in all, more Bitcoin buying, more Ethereum buying across the board. Now going into fundamentals, here, the first thing that is a little bit annoying is when we take a look at the Bitcoin supply on exchange reserves. We saw an increase going into this all-time high here, and after that all-time high, many people basically sold, obviously, because the price dropped, but it was anticipated and shown here that is likely to actually sell off as well. But now, after the price has dropped, we are seeing it go down just slightly already, which signals that Bitcoin is being bought already. So bad and good at the same time. Mostly, this unfortunately has been trending upwards since the start of June, and that's not the direction we wanted to go. We wanted to continue to go downwards. Then this is very good. We're seeing massive mints of stablecoins. So since last weekend, there was $231 billion worth of stablecoins, and today we have $3.5 billion more in stablecoins. This is a massive increase, one of the largest increases, 1 week increases that we have ever seen in the history of stablecoins. So again, very good signal that the bull market will continue upwards. And the funny fact is that most of this increase is coming from USDC. So within the last week, the yellow line here, it doesn't show much, but it increased $2.5 billion in USDC circulation. I don't know what happened with USDC. Maybe they made a big deal. I'm not exactly sure, but USDC supply has basically been almost flat, growing very slowly here, and just 1 week increase was $2.5 billion. So not exactly sure what's going on there, but I take it as bullish, and that also explains why USDC was entering into Coinbase Prime as well. I believe they will be buying altcoins and crypto in the like a week by week basis. Then nothing too interesting here. Maybe I can say that the Bitcoin that did enter into exchange wallets in the last week or so is the orange line here. The yellow and the blue lines did not really move. So the orange line is wallets that held Bitcoin between 90 days and 1 year. So these are not old whales that sold, it is younger whales that sold into this local top here. So the good news is that old whales are currently in hodl mode. They haven't been really selling in all of August. Even though the price has gone up, the blue line and the yellow line are basically almost flat in this chart here, which signals that they are in hodl mode, meaning that it's likely that prices actually want to go higher. Very nice to see. And then for short-term fundamentals, uh, actually, let's take a look at Google Trends first. So Google Trends, we are looking at the term crypto and Bitcoin. Both are going up. Previously, I told you guys that crypto is going up a lot, but Bitcoin is not really going up that much. But now Bitcoin is also picking up speed. So the retail interest in Bitcoin and crypto are now shooting through the roof. So crypto is at a value of 29, and previously we have to go all the way down to 2021 when retail investors were this interested in crypto. So this is a warning sign that markets are becoming a little bit too heated. But what is at the same time annoying is that as of now, we're still not seeing altcoin pumps that we haven't seen high altcoin pumps yet. So I believe this is only the smart retail money that has come into crypto yet, but we haven't seen the dumb retail money come into crypto as of now. So in 2020, 2021, we saw that the Bitcoin interest stayed high for a long period of time until it finally tapered off in 2022. So right now, it could be that uh, uh, they really just plan to dump on retail investors here and the bull market is done. But because of all these treasury companies and ETFs buying Bitcoin, Ethereum non-stop, I believe that retail investors actually have a chance to make money in this bull run, and it is not about to end yet. It could, however, turn around if the United States stock markets starts to tumble, if we see high inflation numbers and we don't see rate cuts. So that is the danger zone. But at least now people still believe rate cuts are coming. So uh, uh, I'm still bullish. But in the short term fundamentals, looking at liquidation heat map, I told you guys in Tuesday's update that we had this liquidation zone here going all the way to 124k. It's likely that we go up first. And now we tagged all of that liquidity already. And now basically all of the liquidity is unfortunately below us. So this is a danger zone here, $110,000. There's a chance that Bitcoin retraces all the way here because that's where liquidity is at. If market makers have the power and we don't see treasury companies buying Bitcoin in large quantities. If Bitcoin goes sideways for a while, that could be good that money starts to rotate into altcoins because of all of the USDC flowing into exchanges and because of Coinbase basically promising us an altcoin season for Q3 2025. So Bitcoin doesn't look that interesting. I think the focus is on altcoins as of now. So we'll obviously we don't know for sure. I am positioned as a buyer as of now, not as a seller. Let me know in the comments if you have a different opinion. But as of now, unfortunately, most of the liquidity is downwards, so it could be that we have more dip before we have upside from that chart here. And on the order spot order book depth, we see that spot buyers are here on the charts. So within a 3% price move of the current price, there's more $40 million more spot limit buy orders than limit sell orders. So buyers are currently uh, dominating the order books. Doesn't mean that the Bitcoin price will go up. It just means that there's currently dominance in buying than selling. So the price could stay stagnant here for a while. And if market sellers enter into the markets, then it might go down. But if more retail investors get into crypto, then obviously the prices will go up. But it could be that Bitcoin goes sideways, altcoins finally start to catch up and outperform Bitcoin. I would really like to see that also. So now let's head back to the charts here and let's talk about the prices. So in my opinion, as of now, LDO is in a perfect buying opportunity as an altcoin. I don't really want to talk about other altcoins that much. I will show you a couple of charts that could be bullish, but I don't know the fundamentals that well compared to the fundamentals of LDO. So LDO basically retraced back to this trend line here. So it's likely that we will actually head upwards, especially if Ethereum breaks the all-time high, then obviously LDO will follow up as well. So LDO looks extremely good in this dip here. Then another altcoin I do want to mention is something called S, which stands for Sonic. And for Sonic, let me go to the logarithmic view. You can see that we had this bearish trend line here. And as of now, we are basically uh, in a decisive moment because S basically has to break out of this price structure here and then it might head for higher prices. And I'm not expecting for the moon. What I'm basically expecting is 50 cents for this price. So it's not exactly a 100% move, but still, I think this is a relatively low risk play here because I have a stop loss here basically below this low because then this whole thing will break down and I will not lose that much capital, but I believe it will break out here and this is basically a conservative area to get out. So I have a long in S even though I don't know the fundamentals that well. Then another one I do have a long position is STX. The chart is basically the same as for Sonic. This is completely wrong STX. So let's use this one here. So the chart is almost the same, maybe a little bit better because it has already come out of this bearish trend here. And right now it is consolidating between these prices here. So again, basically the same thing, stop loss below this low here and expecting a breakout of this structure. Now for STX, it is aligned with Bitcoin. It's a layer 2 blockchain on top of Bitcoin. And the idea for them is to make Bitcoin more useful more utility for Bitcoin and to promote DeFi running on Bitcoin over the STX blockchain. And it is not been a success, but I believe if retail investors come in, that the just because of the narrative that it is Bitcoin, but a smart contract platform, it might actually pump higher. So here again, I'm not expecting for the moon. It could go to $3. That would be very nice. That could be a 5x here. But again, I'm just expecting it to go to $1.6, about halfway roughly, or $1.5, maybe even more conservative. So that's a 100% gain there. Again, not trying to shoot for the moon here, but if this is my stop loss here at 50 cents, if it goes to 1.5, that's a nice risk to reward ratio here as well. So I bought STX as well. For Bitcoin, you already basically know my scenarios. The bullish scenario is here, that we go to 130K by the end of this month. If we don't go there, then basically by the middle of September, when World Liberty Financial is released, that could be a local top, because the WLFI is a sell event. New tokens enter the market, people want to exit their positions. The sellers obviously want retail investors to be there to be their exit liquidity. And then we have the new PPI numbers coming out, rate cut announcements, all these things in the middle of September as well. So all of that basically leads to me being bearish for September, and then again being bullish basically in October, probably. But all in all, I think we go to 130K somewhere between end of this month and September. Altcoins have a nice rally, and that will be basically my exit. And then I will wait out until the middle of September. Wait out the WLFI launch, see how that goes. Maybe FOMO into some altcoins at that moment. But as of now, through August, I'm still bullish, and as long as we're at least above this trend line here. Now, if we fall below it, there's a liquidation zone, obviously here at $110,000, basically below this low here. We could tag that, and then there's another one at $105,000. So if we fall below these trend lines, it's likely that we go all the way to 105. Then we have a decision time here at $115,000. And the lowest I see Bitcoin going with these fundamentals is 91K. I don't see it really going that lower than that, and then we bounce back off from there. But that is the bearish scenario, but I'm still subscribed to the idea that we go upwards from here. So that's everything I had for this video. Now, if you like this content, make sure to look at the like button, look at the subscribe button, and make sure they are highlighted if you want more of this content or you want other people to see this content. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.